Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, to the Akims on highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Just a little scripture meditation I want to go over. Not going to be anything too long, just two scriptures. First scripture is Romans chapter 15 verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." Now the point I want is that where it says for whatsoever things were written aforetime, meaning the things that was written before. And for us, the things that was written before were the things that were written in the scriptures, what we call the Bible today. And it says that those things were written for our learning. Like the good thing about the scriptures, compared to other nations and their historical documents, we document the good and the bad. We don't just push the good that we do. Whereas in these other nations, the things that they document about themselves, for the most part, it's just the good that they do. That's what we see and hear about. But we document the good and the bad, and these things are there for our learning, so that we can see the good things that our foreparents did that pleased the Most High, and the wicked things that they did that didn't please the Most High, and we can learn from these things. Now, the other thing I want to go into, the other scripture, which sort of ties into this, is Acts chapter 5 and verse 29. It says, "Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men." We have to be mindful that, we won't just only listen to what we're told if it only comes from those that we know, our friends or those who we learn from, our spiritual teachers. We study the scriptures, as it says, study to show ourselves approved. So if someone is coming to tell you something or advise you on something, which is scriptural, we can see that it's good, it's not teaching us to break any laws or anything like that, but we'll only apply it or listen to it if it's coming from someone we know or from one of our spiritual teachers. Then we risk for obeying men rather than God. Because at the end of the day, as we read, whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning. And the scripture teaches us that we should not be afraid to entertain strangers, because in doing so, some have entertained angels and have not known it. The Lord could send you a message from someone you don't know, from a total stranger. But because it's not someone that you know or someone that you learn from, one of your spiritual teachers, if you're going to ignore that message, even though you can see for yourself that it's actually scriptural, then, are we really obeying God over men, or are we willing to just obey men that teach us, or men that we know, people that we call our friends? So we have to be careful at times that in our obedience to the Most High, we're not just willing to obey what His word says because it's coming from someone that we know. Yes, we must study the scriptures so that what we're being told we can, verify whether it's of God or not. But at the same time, we shouldn't be afraid to listen to something that's good, that's right, that's not making us disobey God just because it's coming from someone else, Now, quickly go back here, Romans 15. Because at the end of the day, this walk, it's a strange walk. And what I mean by that is, in the day of judgment, we're going to be answering for ourselves, And in this walk, what we're doing, we're trying to save ourselves, But in doing so, we also try and help others. We can't save a next man or a next sister, but we can give them advice, which is right, which is scriptural, to help them on their walk so that they can achieve the same goal that we're looking to achieve, and that's being found in right stead with the Father. But in doing so, we have to apply what was written aforetimes, and we do that by studying the scriptures. But at the same time, like I said, the Most High will sometimes give us advice from people we don't know, from total strangers. And we shouldn't just ignore that advice because it's not coming from our spiritual teacher or it's not coming from a friend that I know. If that's the only time we'd listen to advice, then we're getting into the realm of obeying men over God. And, this is just something I want to meditate on, that, the things that's written in the scriptures, they're written for our learning. And, we ought to obey God rather than men. And sometimes the word, the message, will come to us not just from people that we know, but it can also come from strangers, like the scripture says that I quoted earlier, that we shouldn't be afraid to entertain strangers, because in doing so, some have entertained angels and have not known it. So, just something I wanted to meditate on, and all people can get some edification from that. With that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash, Kwam Yasha Allah.